From a reservoir in California collapsing after relentless flooding to a rare clip showing a 95-year-old embankment dam giving way under its own weight, and even a disaster in Brazil that struck without warning, here are some massive dam failures caught on camera. Edenville Dam, Michigan, 2020. Edenville, Michigan sits along the Tittabawassee River, and for nearly a century, the Edenville Dam held back its waters, forming Wixom Lake. But in May 2020, heavy rain pushed the dam past its limit. The embankment on the eastern side suddenly gave way, sending a powerful surge of water downstream. Towns like Edenville and Sanford were forced to evacuate as the flood rushed toward the Sanford Dam, 10 miles away. One eyewitness managed to capture the exact moment the dam broke. At first, small trickles of water seeped through. Then, all at once, the pressure became too much, and the structure crumbled, sending a wall of water downstream. A 502-page forensic report later revealed that faulty construction and decades of poor maintenance were to blame. Had those in charge taken the right precautions, this disaster could have been avoided. Brumadinho Dam, Brazil, 2019. Brumadinho, Brazil, is home to the Corrego do Feijão iron mine and the site of one of the worst dam failures in history. Unlike most dams that hold back water, this one contained toxic mining waste, known as tailings. On January 25, 2019, the dam collapsed without warning. A devastating mudslide buried the mine while employees were on their lunch break. Security footage captured the horrifying moment. The entire structure vanished in seconds, unleashing a wave of toxic sludge that traveled for miles. The disaster claimed 270 lives. The dam was owned by Vale, the world's largest producer of iron ore and nickel, the same company behind another catastrophic failure in Mariana, Brazil, 4 years earlier. Uttarakhand, India, 2021. In February 2021, a glacial dam high in the Himalayas burst, triggering a massive flood that tore through hydropower stations and villages below. Multiple angles of the footage show the sheer force of nature. A thick cloud of dust and debris rises as the flood tears through the valley. It looks like a storm, but it's actually ice-cold water mixed with rock and sediment. As the flood reaches a dam downstream, the concrete barrier stands no chance, crumbling under the pressure. Experts debated the cause. Some blamed climate change, while others suspected a domino effect of natural disasters. A later study confirmed the culprit: a massive rock and ice avalanche, releasing 27 million cubic meters of material. The ice melted as it fell, turning into a deadly flood. Auburn Cofferdam, California, 1986. The Auburn Dam project was supposed to control flooding on the American River, but it never made it past its early stages. Construction started in 1968, but in 1975, an earthquake put the whole project on hold. By 1986, a temporary cofferdam was in place, but heavy rains filled it beyond capacity. Water began pouring over the top, eroding the loose soil. Engineers expected some erosion, but not at the speed it happened. In just a few hours, half the dam was washed away. Authorities managed to lower the water level at other dams downstream, preventing a bigger disaster. But today, the Auburn Dam remains a billion-dollar unfinished project. Ajka, Hungary, 2010. In October 2010, a tailings dam in Ajka, Hungary, burst, releasing a sea of toxic red sludge into nearby towns. This industrial waste, a byproduct of aluminum production, flooded streets and homes, leaving entire neighborhoods stained red. Residents waded through the sludge, trying to save what they could. Over 80 people suffered chemical burns, and 10 lost their lives. The company behind the disaster resumed production within a week, sparking outrage from locals. Leshan, China, 2019. Leshan, China, home to the famous giant Buddha statue, also sits in a region prone to landslides and flooding. In July 2019, Road workers scrambled for safety as a landslide crashed down a mountainside, smashing into a dam below. One worker sprinted as another leaped from his truck to witness the destruction. Floods worsened the following year, threatening the 1,200-year-old Buddha statue, its toes submerged for the first time since 1949. Atapao, Laos, 2017. Atapao, a newly established province in Laos, faced a disaster on September 11, 2017, when the Nam Ao Dam collapsed after days of heavy rain. A group of onlookers caught footage of a muddy flood tearing through farmland, destroying freshly planted crops. In one chilling clip, construction workers desperately tried to escape, honking their horns in warning before their vehicles were swept away. Even 2 years later, 60 families were still waiting for compensation. Mariana Dam, Brazil, 2015. Before the Brumadinho disaster, another Vale-owned dam collapsed in Mariana, Brazil, on November 5, 2015. This time, 43.7 million cubic meters of toxic sludge poisoned the Doce River, traveling 425 miles to the Atlantic Ocean. Entire towns were left uninhabitable, 19 people lost their lives, and firefighters couldn't even reach some villages due to the mud. A leaked report later revealed the dam had structural issues as far back as 2013. The company knew about the risks, but never took action. Sardoba Dam, Uzbekistan, 2020. On May 1, 2020, after 5 days of severe storms, Uzbekistan's Sardoba Reservoir Dam failed, unleashing nearly 1 billion cubic meters of water into farmland. Rescue footage captured homes reduced to twisted piles of metal, while workers waded through knee-deep floodwaters. Authorities tried diverting the water into canals, but the surge overwhelmed the system, making the flooding even worse. The repair cost? $400 million. St. Johnsbury, Vermont, 2016. In St. Johnsbury, Vermont, a local resident accidentally captured an ice dam break on camera. At first, the river looked swollen, but then, a roaring flood of ice and water surged downstream. Massive ice chunks smashed into bridges as the current grew stronger by the second. The man filming gasped in shock, realizing he'd captured a rare and powerful force of nature in action. If you enjoyed this video, then like the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.